Epoxy painting systems. DUROSTICK boasts a wide range of epoxy paints, which in many cases constitute an alternative solution compared to conventional products. Epoxy paints have many advantages, which vary from desirable to plain necessary. They are particularly resilient to scrubbing, but also to chemical liquids, oils, sea or chlorinated water. They are the ideal solution for the creation of heavy-duty surfaces like industrial floors, industrial or storage spaces, lofts, attics, spaces with permanent water presence like fountains and pools, as well as wherever strict hygiene standards are required. They are applied to already prepared substrates with the use of the right tools and equipment. The epoxy paint systems of DUROSTICK are more advantageous compared to other floor covering options because they are cheaper, easier to apply, and can offer an impeccable result shortly after their use. The creation of skid-resistant floors which are dyed with epoxy paints is accomplished by dusting the industrialized quartz sand of DUROSTICK. DUROSTICK has two epoxy painting systems. 1. A solvent-based system comprising the following products. A. Duroepoxy primer of 2 ingredients. B. Duroepoxy, epoxy paint of 2 ingredients. 2. A solvent-free system comprising the following products. Duroepoxy floor primer SF, epoxy primer of 2 ingredients. B. Duroepoxy floor SF, epoxy paint of 2 ingredients. In the worn-out floor of a large print shop, we will apply an epoxy paint. After cleaning, scrub it, and then remove the dirt and the residues with a vacuum cleaner. In order to proceed to the necessary priming of the entire surface, we will use the transparent Duroepoxy floor primer, which is solvent-free and has 2 ingredients. This will stabilize the surface, balance its porosity, and adequately prepare it for the epoxy paint. We mix the ingredients with a drill at low revs until the mixture is homogeneous. With a roller, we meticulously apply a generous quantity on the cleaned surface in order to cover every inch of it. "24 hours later, we apply the surface paint. We make the Duroepoxy floor SF by mixing the ingredients, and we stir with a drill at low speed until the mixture is homogeneous. With a roller, we meticulously apply the material on the entire primed surface in order to cover every inch of it. Second coat will follow 24 hours later. We remake Duroepoxy Floor SF, and pour the homogeneous mixture directly onto the surface. We take advantage of its self-leveling nature and apply it in the entire surface with a wide-notched trowel, American type. In the next phase, the installer wears special shoes with studs in order to be able to walk on the wet surface. Then the special spiked roller runs through the surface in order to prevent the creation of bubbles and craters from the air trapped within the paint. Perfect. Within 48 hours, the floor will be ready for heavy use. The unparalleled resilience of the Duroepoxy Floor SF epoxy paint will preserve it as new for many years. Any acids, alkalis, oils, water, and air pollutants will not affect it. Thus, the space will be appropriate even if it's required to maintain the strictest hygiene standards. Technical support. DUROSTICK is always at hand for technical support, irrespective of your specific stage of the project. A phone call or email is enough for you to find answers to all repair problems.